And welcome to this edition of the Native News Update on this Wednesday, February 13th. I am the host for today's program, Paul Domain, and many of the stories we read here can also be found at our website, IndianCountryTV.com, and here are some of the news stories for the day. Pine Ridge native and Olympic gold medalist Billy Mills is preparing to become a medal winner again when he meets with President Obama this week. The Rapid City Journal reports that Mills, who won a gold medal in track in the 1964 Olympics, will be in Washington, D.C. this week to receive the Presidential Citizens Medal. That's the nation's second highest civilian award. Mills, who now lives in Fair Oaks, California, said he is humbled and honored that the president is recognizing him. Since his Olympic win, Mills, a member of the Oglala Sioux, co-founded and has become the national spokesman for the Running Strong for America Indian Youth Organization, a nonprofit agency that works to strengthen Native American communities. A federal court on this week has dealt a blow to the business arm of a northern Arizona tribe that owns the Grand Canyon Skywalk by upholding a $28.5 million judgment in favor of a Las Vegas developer who invested the money to build the horseshoe-shaped glass bridge on tribal land. The ruling by U.S. District Judge David Campbell rejected arguments by the Hualapai tribe that the award isn't enforceable, and at times calling the arguments odd. The American Arbitration Association had determined David Jin owned the money, mostly for management fees that he was to receive under a 2003 contract with the tribe. Mark Tratos, an attorney for Jin, said February 11th, the ruling shows U.S. citizens do have a recourse in contract disputes with Indian tribes in the United States. The judgment applies to the Hualapai tribe's business arm, who had argued that the Arbitration Association lacked jurisdiction and declined to participate in the final arbitration hearing. The tribe said proceeding with arbitration was unnecessary because it had already enforced eminent domain over the contract, taking sole control of the skywalk. Jin invested $30 million to build the bridge that lies just west of Grand Canyon National Park. Native Americans from across Nevada sang and danced in opposition to bear hunts in Nevada as the aroma of burning sage filled the air outside the Nevada State Legislature building earlier this week. About 50 supporters of a bill to block bear hunting in the state converged on the building. Many Native Americans view the bear as a sacred animal and vehemently disapprove of the state allowing hunters to kill their relatives, according to Rachel Arthur, representing the Pyramid Lake Paiute tribe. The demonstration fell on Tribal Day at the 2013 Nevada legislature and comes 2 years after the first black bear hunts were allowed in the state in 2011. State wildlife biologists have said the state's bear population is growing at a rate of about 16% annually and can support a limited hunt. Navajo Nation officials say they are on their way toward managing their own federally funded Medicaid program. The Farmington Daily Times reports that the nation began looking into creating its own Medicaid program about 5 years ago because of issues some tribal members had with other health care programs available in New Mexico, Arizona, and Utah. Navajo Nation Department of Health officials are optimistic that the tribe can sustain its own Medicaid program, even though a feasibility study wasn't as optimistic. While more than 100,000 members of the tribe are currently eligible for Medicaid, many of them do not take advantage of the services because of the complications that frequently accompany them, according to Larry Curley, Executive Director of the Navajo Nation Department of Health. Members often have to travel long distances or go to certain clinics to receive the services. A hearing on proposed legislation that would streamline the state's mining laws in Wisconsin and make exemptions to water and air quality requirements drew several hundred people in northern Wisconsin this last weekend, with the vast majority saying the measure would lead to devastating environmental damage. The listening session was organized by State Senators Timothy Cullen of Janesville and Robert Jelk of Poplar, Wisconsin, to give northern Wisconsin residents a chance to comment on a mining permitting bill Cullen offered as an alternative to the Republican bill approved recently by mining committees in both the Senate and the Assembly. Those committees refused to hold a hearing in northern Wisconsin and represented many of the Republicans who had received over $15 million in mining industry political contributions in the last 2 years. At issue is legislation designed to ensure Gogebic taconite opens a massive iron mine in northern Wisconsin. Republicans say the bill will ease the company's regulatory path and help it create hundreds of jobs. Democrats and environmentalists argue that the bill weakens environmental protections and won't create nearly as many jobs in Wisconsin as the company claims. Speakers at the Ashland hearing included members of several Ojibwe communities, in addition to the Bad River Ojibwe, whose reservation and rice beds are downriver from the proposed mine, and officials from neighboring states who spoke against the mine. The Sequoia National Research Center seeks 3 tribally affiliated student interns for this upcoming summer. Interns will work at least 25 hours a week per week at the center doing basic archival and research work under the direction of center staff. The center at the University of Arkansas at Little Rock houses the papers and special collections of many tribal individuals and organizations. It is the world's largest archived collection of newspapers and other periodicals published by tribal individuals, tribes, and organizations. And the Dr. J.W. Wiggins collection of Native American art, consisting of more than 2,500 pieces of artwork, a massive archive documenting the collection and reference library on indigenous art of more than 1,000 volumes. The goal of the American Indian Student Internship Program is to provide students a learning environment in which to acquire an understanding of the value of the archives and research potential of the collections at the center, and to engage in academic research and practical database building activities related to tribal culture, society, and issues. Students interested in applying should send their applications of inquiries to email at Daniel Littlefield and Robert Sanderson, and those emails will be up on the board. Looking for opportunities in business for artists, entrepreneurship, and potential homeowners? You want to join the Wisconsin Indian Economic Development Committee for 2 days of workshops on the Red Cliff Ojibwe Reservation at the legendary Waters Resort and Casino, February 22nd and 23rd, by contacting lapointefinancial.org or calling 715-682-3493. Also, join the Lakudere Ojibwe Tribe and IndianCountryTV.com for its annual winter social dance this weekend on Saturday, February 16th at the LCO Casino and Convention Center near Hayward, Wisconsin, including afternoon legislative workshops on the Violence Against Women Act and mining in northern Wisconsin, and a live broadcast starting at 3 p.m. Feast and social dance to follow in the evening, and the public is welcome to attend. That's going to be another roundup of news from Indian Country. On this edition of the Native News Update, we want to say miigwech for joining with us, and come back again soon.